Hi, welcome back. This is potentially could be a longer video because we're going to finish making this folio. So I've got everything all cut. I will go through the measurements of everything with you because you need to pay attention to, I won't give you all the measurements, but you need to pay attention to your seams and make sure that you are not putting your paper over the gusset that's built here. And then, you can, these are not cut exactly to 8 by 8, so you are going to need to trim them down. So starting with this one, let's just go ahead and we'll just kind of move in. That way I can take these clips off. So this is what I've put here. I've already inked the edge. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue it in place. Oh, come on. My glue doesn't want to come out. Hold on. Well, there we go. We'll just go one step at a time. We'll go all the way through this. So once this was cut and trimmed, just put it right into place. And I left about an eighth, not an eighth, 1/16 of an edge so that the black would show up. So once you have this piece in, let's turn this flap and let's continue to stay here until and then we'll move back into this. But I took two of the 8 by 8s and these two here. I essentially cut them in half. And then I'm putting them here. I'm not worrying about the overlap because we're going to put a black band in between the two halves. Helps to break up that competing pattern a little bit. It still leaves you some spots here for some nice photos. So it doesn't really matter which one goes down first, but you are going to overlap. Now, I personally would not be so meticulous that you've got to make sure that they're cut right smack in the middle and that they connect here on the seam at the right spot because you're going to cover it up. So let them overlap. This will hold a lot of photos. There aren't a lot of pockets. We're going to build one here in a little bit. On the folios, you really can't build up a lot in them just by nature of how they are. They don't allow for a lot of expansion. So you have to play with what you have. But they make a great way to manage photos, to put them into something. All right, this piece here we already played with. We already set that down. We're going to open this up. We will come to the right side panel in a minute. I want to get this piece down. This is what I used here on this spot, and it's out of the 8 by 8. So it took very little trimming. I think what I want to do though real quick is just double check what I've got here. Yep, I'm fine. This has got a 1/4 inch gusset on the right side. So I want to make sure that I'm not causing a collapse of that gusset by taping or gluing over the gusset. So I want to make sure the top, the right, and the left match up, and then it just drops right in line with that right side gusset line. Okay. Then we're going to open this up. And over here, I did the same thing with the other halves of the 8x8s that we just took out and we put on the left panel. And again, we're going to put a black band down the center. And I think I cut this one too long. Once I get it on there, I'll cut it. That way it's cut to the right length. I'm going to pull this to me just a little bit. I need to see this upper corner here. Beautiful. And then this piece. And I'm just going to line up across the bottom. Now I didn't ink this edge on either one simply because I didn't want to waste the ink. You're covering it up with this little black band. Okay, I'm just going to come right here. I'm going to lay this down, and then I'll pick this up and I will snip that off. And again, you have nice room to put some couple of photos or one long one on the top or the bottom. So now we're going to move to the center. This one is where we're going to have a lot of fun. So when we built this in the build video, I had you make some very large folio or waterfall cards. And I decided that they're just too big and it really limited the amount of photos you could put in this. So I literally cut them in half. So these originally were 7 by 5.5, and I just cut them right at 3.5. So now we have 10 of these. They'll suit smaller photos, but you've got all this other large space around here to put in larger photos. So, but before these can go down, we've got to get a centerpiece down. So this piece I'm not really enamored with, so I thought it would be a good one to put down because we're going to do a lot of covering. And by the time I got done, I took stock of I have a 8x8 pad left, and I have the better part of a 12x12 pad left. So I actually have enough to make another one. So if you bought 2, you'll notice when we're done here, you're going to have enough to make another one. So if you're giving them as gifts, for Christmas or birthday, wedding. Now here is where we're going to take the pocket. Now if I remember right, in the instructions I told you to make the pocket 3 inches. Well, you're going to cut it down to 2 1/4. And we're going to put this right here. And then I took this strip, which was the top of the label on the 12x12. I took this strip to put it down here. And then I went to the cut aparts on the 8x8, and I cut that out, and that's going to sit right here. But this is going to become a pocket. It's the only place that there is a pocket. It's really the only place you can put a pocket. And then this little guy, I'm just going to ink. Jimmy's Charlie. Glue that right there, because then I can just set this in here. I'm raising it up off the bottom a little bit so that there's some texture, if you will, beneath it. And then as you can see, we've got a pocket. Now, you're going to have 10 of these. 5 for each side, and for me it's going to be easier for me to turn this. No, I'll fold everything under. I forgot it's not an album, it's a folio. I can fold it all under. For the top 2 stacks, I cut this out of the 8x8, and I cut another one 8x8. I found this image in the 8x8 cut parts, and then this card. Underneath the snowy quilt, our love story begins to bloom, and I'm putting that right there, and then I put the couple under the umbrella right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get these waterfalls put in, and then I'll add those, but I am going to fold everything under as best I can so that I can bring, oh, that's not going to let me fold. Oh, well, I can fold one side of it, I guess. I just need to bring this, nope, I'm going to do this. I want to turn it around so that I've got this closer to me. It just makes it easier for me. All right, so spacing. I'm going to come 1/4 inch off the top and roughly 1/4 inch off the sides, and that leaves me roughly 1/4 inch down the middle. So let's see if I can get out of my way. 1/4 inch, oh shoot, I wiggled it. Okay, I'm good. Okay, am I all right? I think I'm good. Okay, so now I'll just start stacking these underneath one at a time in hopes that they all line up nice and even. Okay, that one's good. Now I have 10 of these, and I think we're going to go almost all the way to the bottom, but if we get to where we're too close in the 5th one in each stack, doesn't look like it's gonna lay right, I will drop it down to 4. But I think we'll be okay. I know that didn't set right because I can see a gap. Eek, eek, eek. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, so see, that's 4. We're okay. We got some room there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's 6 of them. I miscounted. All right, so if I put another 1/2 inch, we're gonna come down to here. So it is your choice. Do you wanna put that 6th one in and have a little bit of room? Or do you want to leave it at 5 and have more room? I'm going, because this is going to be for sale, I am going to go for the maximum amount of photos as possible in this folio. Now, generally for Scrap and Create, I make albums, but I wanted to do something different. So here we go. I'll leave that tucked under so I can play with this. All right, now we're going to add these on. Like so. These will lay down as weight gets added onto them. I can also kind of tweak them a little bit and they'll lay down better. Oh, I suppose I could burnish them too. That might help. Because I haven't burnished. They'll get down there. They just need time. And then this one. Okay, so now by time we're done with this right side panel, which we're going to get to in a second, there were enough scraps left over that you can actually cover the front and the back of each one of these. So you can cut 22 of these is what you're going to need. And mine measured in at 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. So 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. I don't really care what direction everything goes because there's going to be photos on them. I am not going to take time in this video to do this. I will do this after the video. So know that I will be covering each one of these with this extra trim, and that uses up almost all. You just have a small pile of trims left, and then you have a full packet of 8x8s and about 2/3 of a 12x12. So we've already done this, and that's going to go this way, this is going to go this way, and now we're over here to this. So this came out of the 12x12, and I cut it to fit, and this is where I'm putting a small tuck. Like I said, you can't get pockets in. We like to pack things in pockets, so, but what it does allow is for some room for some smaller photos, and you can then tuck in behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this glued in. There's this bright side, and then there's this softer side, and it's this side that I'm going to play with. But you can switch sides. If you like this side instead, you are more than welcome to change. It's your album or your folio. I'm so used to saying it's your album. Okay. I'm going to come in here. Oh, come on. Now, what are you doing? You're sticking too quickly. Well, for Pete's sake, Charlie, I just cannot seem to get this seated in here the right way. So let me try it from this angle over here. There we go. And then we're gonna, so I've taped one side, and I'm gonna put it over here. You can put it on whichever side you want. Now we're going to open it up, and now we're going to play inside here, and we're going to kind of change the format just a little bit on this side. I wanted to use this piece. It was just a great piece to not toss. So I trimmed it so that there was an equal space between this piece, which is also out of the scraps. I don't care how much bigger it is. It's just going to come in here and sit. It's the balancing of sides, and then I'm going to run this up the center. So then you can put a photo here, and you can put a couple of photos here. So this one's going to go down first. You know, I try really hard to gently hold on to things, and then I end up dropping them. I don't want to get glue all over myself. Okay. And then I'm just going to slide right in here, being mindful of the seam that we've got going on over there. And then we're going to run a little bit of a black seam down the center. All right, that's done. So let's, with this open, let's go ahead and let's do this side. So I have, from my scraps, I've got these two pieces here. I'm putting the balloons on the bottom, this on the top, but you can flip them either way. You can use the reverse side, which is balloons again. See, it's the same thing. The balloons are a little heavier. So it's really going to be, what do you want to see them on the top? You know what? I'm going to reverse mine. I'm going to put mine on the top. And then we're going to glue this. And these came out of the 12 by 12s. I can tell by the size of the lettering on this and the little sayings. Just be careful when you're doing this that you stay off this seam. You don't want to get it on there because it will cause a problem when you're trying to close the album. Okay, so I have a little extra here, no biggie. Snip it off. All right, that's done. Let's open this up. And we're going to do it again over here. In the center, this being the center of it, I think it's our last piece. I've chosen this one to go in here, and you can put some photos in here, and then you've got this nice, beautiful accent. And this came off of the 12 by 12. All right, so then our last piece. And I just had a thought. You know, if you've got a beautiful die or a punch that you want to punch or use a die, I could have and should have done that. But it's not too late for me to trim out some and just go back over this, cover it. That would add some character. I should have thought of that. Okay, then this closes up like so. And then this closes in here. This goes this way. This comes this way. And this closes up. And other than my putting in these on the waterfalls, this is done. Let's just make a cursory review, make sure we're not missing any pieces, that we got everything all addressed. I don't want to get in here and find out that, oh, I forgot to cover that panel. So we're looking here. We did good here. We did good there. And then the waterfalls and the pocket we did. All right, folks, you're all done. So that didn't take that long, about a half an hour. It's going to be your prep that will take up most of the time. And I want to thank Scrap and Create for letting me play with this. And instead of making an album out of it, we made a folio. And what's great is you have enough paper left over to make another one. So I hope to see you on the next build. Until then.